All right, guys, so let's talk about split recruiting, right? That means where two recruiters get together. One of them has the contract. They've already signed it with the company. The other one is a recruiter, meaning they actually go out and find the talent, right? The candidate. They bring them together and they have them hired at the company. When that happens, they get a fee, right? Just like any normal placement. But when this happens, they split that fee. And there's a few nuances and contracts in there and trust and things like that. Now, that's how split recruiting works. Is it for you? All right, so in this video, I'm just going to give you a quick breakdown of some pros and cons of split recruiting, like what's good, what's bad, what to look out for, that kind of stuff. By the way, hey, if you do not know about Recruiter Empire, my free Facebook group, link in description. We have 16,000 recruiters in there. If you're looking for a split partner for split recruiting, you definitely can find one in there. So definitely join, link in description. You definitely want to be in there. Okay, so one of the first pros of split recruiting is wider reach. Okay, naturally, when you're working with another person, right? Two people are working together. Technically, right, one person is supposed to be finding the candidate while the other person has the client, right? They have the agreement, but you have a wider reach. So technically speaking, you do have the ability to have a more wide candidate reach, candidate pool, right? That you can pull from and potentially get a hire out of. So that is a pro in split recruiting. It's not a huge one, but it is one. Okay, so the second pro that I would name for split recruiting is specialization. Okay, so let's just say that you're, a random ass recruiter and you don't know anything, and you finally landed this contract with a biotech company. Wow. Okay, so you're hiring people that are curing cancer. Great. So you find another recruiter that's been in the game for like 25 years, and this recruiter just so happens to find scientists, lab techs, like people that literally cure cancer. Even though cancer's not cured yet, but it will be. So when they find this candidate, right, that's just amazing because they're that recruiter, specialization comes in here, right? Because who else would you have found if you had not found that other recruiter to find this specialist, right? So you bring them in, they get hired, you split the fee, everything's pretty much handy dandy, happy, good. Yeah. All right, so the third pro positive that I can think of in split recruiting is that you have a reduced workload, right? So you don't have to do as much. If you just have to find the contract, get it inked, and all good, you're fine. If you just have to do the recruiting and go find the candidate, that's your workload, you're fine, right? It's split, right? They call it split recruiting. So with that being said, the workload is split. It's reduced, right? So one recruiter doesn't have to do the whole full desk thing, right? You don't have to find the client, sign the client, get the candidate, bring them in, get them hired. Like, you don't have to do all that. It's reduced. So your workload overall is easier, technically speaking. All right, so let me tell you about the cons of split recruiting, because there are several, and I particularly believe that split recruiting is not the greatest of recruiting because you actually don't get to learn the full process and you don't earn all the money, which kind of sucks, right? All right, so a con of this is coordination. Look, you need to be coordinating with your other split partner constantly, right? You need to be telling them information back and forth. What did the client say? Did the interview go well? Oh my gosh, did they get back to you? Did they send their resume in? There is a lot of coordination, emails, phone calls, like whatever it is, right? Ghosting, like who knows? All kinds of things can happen because you have four parties involved, right? The client, you have recruiter one, recruiter two, and you have the candidate or candidates, right? A bunch of them. You could have a bunch of people involved in this operation and the coordination could just be bonkers, right? Crazy. So you might not want to get involved in this because of that. All right. So this is exactly why I specifically don't like split recruiting and its lack of control. Now, some people might call me a control freak, some people might not, but I do like to control things. I do like to be in control and organized and all of that. But here's the deal. You don't have control when you are doing split recruiting. You have no control, right? Because it's 50-50. So literally one person holds the contract, one person holds the concept of finding that recruit, right? Or many, many recruits to interview. So here's the deal. Communication issues. You have all kinds of bottlenecks, right? You don't have control over submissions even, right? The recruiter might find someone awesome, send them over to the person that has the contract. That person is charged with submitting them. When they submit them, what if they get hired and they don't tell the other recruiter? There's an opportunity for someone to be nefarious here, right? This is not cool. Like, I don't want to get my hands dirty in something where there's a $30,000 fee and I get $15,000, but I'm never going to see it because I never know what's going to happen, right? I might be working with a recruiter that's in California and I'm in Florida. Like, who knows, right? We don't know what's going to happen in these situations. So the lack of control really irks me and I just don't like it whatsoever. All right, so this last con of split recruiting is the shared profit, right? So it goes without saying that when you split, the placement, right, you're splitting it 50-50, or at least that's business ethics. You should always do a split 50-50, right? One person gets 50%, the other person 50%. That being said, that kind of sucks. When you think about it in terms of recruiting, both parties are putting in pretty good effort, right? And at the end of the day, you're not going to be able to share the revenue evenly. You're not going to be able to share the revenue properly, right? So I much prefer to get my own client, get my own candidate, place them, and take 100% of that damn fee, right? I want all the money, right? Call me greedy. I don't care. I want all of it, right? I do not want to split it up, lose control, have communication issues, have all these things go down, and then inevitably, possibly not even get my money. I want control and I want the entire pie to myself. All right, guys, listen, if at this point in the video you haven't joined Recruiter Empire, my free Facebook group with 16,000 members and climbing in it, I don't even know what you're doing at this point. So link in description, join the group. I'll see you in there. You'll see me in my next video.